here.
Oh, nah.
I just want to put on a spot. Is the reportage about China the true reflection of life here as an American?
Man, I said people in America talk about China like they've been here. Never been to China, so like I thought China was like, it was like on TV, like all about.
I don't think the media really represents anything about China besides what the top-level government actually wants. We're not very humble when it comes to a lot of international relations. We think we know what's best, and we don't try and understand first before like giving our opinions on stuff. And that's a cultural problem in our country.
I can't blame a population for the acts of a government. Like I refuse to take the blame for all the things the crazy American government's doing right now. So I don't expect the Chinese people to be responsible for what their government's doing. Or so, I mean, this is the only country in the world where a guy like me, somebody will just come up and hand me a baby and say, "Here, take pictures with my baby." Where else in the world is somebody going to do that?
Tell your name, where you from, how long been in China?
Okay, my name is Michael Troy Schroed. I've been in China for about 8 years, and I was born in Texas, but I grew up around the world in multiple countries. So.
My name is Forrest, and I'm 29 years old. I've been in China for 5 years. I'm from Missouri in the United States, and I've lived in 2 cities in China. I've lived in Jinan China, and I've lived in Shandong, Jinan.
And my name is Brent. I am from Boston. I've been in China for a long time.
A long time? Like how many years?
One of the OGs.
OGs?
One of the OGs.
I feel like I'm an OG. Been here for almost 10 years. You also an OG?
See, I'm an OG. I'm an older G than you.
Really? For real? Like, for how many years have you been here, bro?
Man, it's pushing more than 10.
More than 10 years in China?
More than 10, yeah.
What's it like living in China that is so different from the other countries you've lived before?
Oh, it's fantastic. I enjoy China. First of all, the food is spectacular here. The people are really, they're interesting. When they first see a foreigner, especially some of the people who haven't been really exposed to a lot of foreigners, they get kind of tentative and they get a little nervous around you. But if you just smile at them, suddenly they light up. They come talk to you.
So living here for this period of time, what is your general overview of Chinese people? What do you think of Chinese people?
I think they're
genuinely.
I think they're beautiful people. I really enjoy them. There's so many cultural differences that I have to get used to, but like I said, I've lived in a lot of countries, so you just roll with the flow and accept what comes.
There's so much tension between America and China.
There's a lot of tension.
And we need to promote peace around the world. What is the message to fellow Americans?
Well, the thing that I found is that the United States government and the Chinese government always butting heads since the 60s, right? But the Chinese people, like most Americans, don't really care about. They don't know anything about Chinese people. The Chinese people don't really know a lot about Americans. So all they hear is propaganda from the government. But when you talk to them, they're really just the same as us. They want the exact same things out of life that we want. They would like to have peace the same that we would like. So the Chinese people are really beautiful. It's like I can't blame a population for the acts of a government. Like I refuse to take the blame for all the things the crazy American government's doing right now. So I don't expect the Chinese people to be responsible for what their government's doing. Or so we can, at least on a personal level, have a good communication, make friends, have a good time, get to know each other. And so far I've found very little anti-foreign sentiment towards me. So
how is China different from America, where you come from?
Man, it's completely different, especially from my small town. Like, I grew up in a small town of 100,000 people. It's a college town. It's kind of bustling in my eyes, but Jinan is a city of 5 million, and there's, 30 plus cities in China with those numbers. So it's quite different.
Living here for this period of time, what do you genuinely think of Chinese people?
I think Chinese people are awesome. But a more deep answer would be, I think Chinese people are generally more stoic than we are in America.
There's so much tension between America and China right now. What is your message to promote world peace between these countries?
Man, I don't know. I think my fellow countrymen really need to think about what they know and what they don't know, and we're not very humble when it comes to a lot of international relations. We think we know what's best, and we don't try and understand first before giving our opinions on stuff. And that's a cultural problem in in our country. So if that could change, that'd be great. That would help international relations, but I don't know how to do that.
Living here for 5 years, do you think most of the media reportage about China is the true representation of what you see here? I want to put you on the spot.
Sure. I mean, I don't think the media really represents anything about China besides what the top level government actually wants as far as like international relations goes. And I think the reason for that is we outside of China don't necessarily care at all about the everyday life of Chinese citizens. And so we all hear about like the what is even the sea called? The Chinese Sea, the sea that kind of borders the Philippines, and yeah. So like China claims that, and we hear about these international relation like tension points or something like that, but we don't get any picture into what life is like in China. I think the average American probably thinks like people are traveling around on horse-drawn carriages here.
Whoa, as an American.
Yeah, man. Wasn't the plan, just happened that way.
How did an American end up living in China for over 10 years, man?
Wow, watching TV.
TV?
watching CNN about how China was the future, okay? And I didn't have a plan to come here, but I was like, China is looking really good about, the economy's growing, there's money here, so I said, let me try to come make some. But I had no friends here, I had no family, I had nothing, so I had to figure out how to get to China.
Okay.
So a friend said, come teach. And I was like, I don't want to teach. And then after a little bit, I got a job at an oil company. And yeah, I've been here ever since, man.
So living here as an American, what do you think of Chinese people?
My first month here, I didn't go outside. I was very afraid. I couldn't speak English. I couldn't speak Chinese. They couldn't speak English. I was always getting looked at, getting stared at, so it was uncomfortable. But after a while, I began to venture out my house, like to the corner store, and, going playing basketball with local people. And then I realized, just like America, man, everybody's cool, so everybody's friendly, they talk to me. When I first came, they spoke Chinese, so I didn't understand what they're saying to me, so it took a long time to communicate, That time too is like there's no no what you call it, Google Translator, none of that stuff, man. So it was tough, but people were open to me and it helped me survive, so I'm still here.
Living here, we hear a lot of reportage about China outside China. Is it a true reflection of what is here? I just want to put on the spot. Is the reportage about China the true reflection of life here as an American?
Man, I said people in America talk about China like they've been here. They've never been to China, so like I thought China was like, it was like on TV, like all about, Shaolin and Kung Fu. That's my China, you know what I'm saying? Bruce Lee,
Bruce Lee, yeah.
So I got here, I saw kids wearing, Nikes and Jordans and, listen to hip hop. That like blew my mind. So I was like, damn, this is just like back home, So China and America, man, I said, a lot of the things are the same, you know what I'm saying? So now they know who Jay-Z is, they know who J. Cole is, they know about 21 Savage, you know what I'm saying? They got their own, they're rapping now too, they're doing R&B, so it's just like being back home. It's different language,
If like for Americans watching this video, they want to make a decision maybe to travel to China for a tour or to work here, maybe they are not uncertain about life here. What is your message to fellow Americans watching this video?
I say, come man, have a look, get out your comfort zone. I know China's a far place and you feel like you can't survive here, but once you get here, you'll see it's not that difficult. It's got to open your eyes, open your mind and your soul to the country, and people will embrace you. So I've been here for a long time. I don't have any complaints for now.
For now, man. Thanks for talking to me, bro. I appreciate
it.
It's all love, man.
It's all love.
It's all love, bro. Peace and love to the world. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
That's
I appreciate
it,
man.
That's all love, guys. That's all
Thanks,
love.
man. Right, thank you so much for talking to me. I appreciate it.
All right, no worries.
All right, man. Thank you so much for talking to me. I appreciate
Chris,
the time.
it was
Thank
nice.
you so much. Thank you so much. I get my microphone, right?
Yeah, of course.